Hello, quickly let's talk about how AI is transforming agritech in Africa. Yes, there's been lots of innovation around the fintech, but again, agriculture is not left behind. And in this series, we're going to be looking at what AI is really doing when it comes to agriculture in Africa and how you can actually leverage on some of the innovation going around. So let's dive into it. Imagine a Tanzanian farmer seek cassava leaf. She does not know what's really wrong. And when she got to the farm, she tried to look at the leaf and some of them are yellow instead of having green leaves. She was wondering, what can I do? But at the end of the day, she couldn't get help. And here comes an offline app. She took the mobile app, snapped the plant. In seconds, she was able to get information about what is wrong with her plant. That app is called Nuru. An ordinary Android app, sometimes it even outperforms some professionals in analyzing the crops in the farm. In fact, research shows that it performed 2 times accuracy more than normal officials. I guess to help some of these farmers. Now let us talk about why agritech carry so much weight in Africa. Well, agriculture is about half of Africa's workforce. In other words, when you talk about agriculture actually employs almost half of employed people within the African space. And the question I'm asking myself is, if you have a sector that employs about 50% of your population, why is there so much little going into it? Well, that's a question for another time. Let's talk about the gap. Some of the gap is no soil test, no trusted forecast, no agronomist, no credit history. These are some of the challenges. When talking about innovation in the agricultural sector, we need to talk about some of the constraints. The application must work on mobile first, SMS, voice, and offline. And the reason is simple. You want to build a technology around agriculture. You cannot assume that the people who are going to be using this application can read and they can write. You have to ensure that it's accessible with or without internet. These are no-brainer if you want your application to be successful in agritech. Data is something that is crucial when you talk about artificial intelligence, and yet every farmland has its own unique data. So that something works in a location does not mean that such model will work the same in another location. And this is why African farmland is very dynamic to train any model in the world. Because you know what? We have a very huge landmass and very dynamic landscape, which gives any model an edge being trained with all of the data that we have around us. When we talk about computer vision, of course, we're talking about giving the machine the ability to see what is going on out there. And PlantVillage Nuru is helping in that regard. The Tanzanian app is really helping farmers to see even beyond their physical crops. They can scan through a plant and get instant results about what is going on with the plant. Nuru app started with analyzing cassava. Now it does maize, sweet potato, and fall armyworm. These are incredible things that computer vision is really helping farmers to navigate through. Let's talk about Aerobotics. This is a drone, plus satellites, plus phones, images, everything fruit. This gives farmers the ability to see beyond from the sky. And these have yielded up to 95% accuracy on every ground versus the 70% or 75 to 85% that human usually achieve. This technology has been deployed to about 100 million trees and 400 customers, 18 countries. NESPA led $70 million Series B. These are growing technology that you can really check out. So you can check out Aerobotics and see how it works. I have AI Playbook community that will be of interest to you. What I do on a weekly basis, I release tips, newsletter that helps you to understand what is going on within the AI sector and how you can leverage and make informed decision even as this evolving technology keep coming on a weekly basis. If you're interested, just check the description of this video for the link to join. Let us also look at AI that is granting farmers advice in various areas. Farmer.Chat, digital screen plus OpenAI, ChatGPT 4 plus, RAG implementation, and over 7,000 videos. These are things that farmers have access to. Farmers can now chat with AI to have idea about what is going on in their plant. 40 plus languages, ask by voice, text, photos. Once you input some of these things, the AI will give you validation of every of the answers that is available. This application have over 830,000 users, over 5 million queries. And in Kenya, just from 200 to 14,000 under a year. This is huge. Let us talk about how AI is helping farmers to access credit. Apollo Agriculture in Kenya put all of these things into an insurance device. Farmers can now access insurance credit without really having to do so much, because with analysis of AI, they can then have some of this credit at their fingertips. Just imagine an aspect where AI is able to analyze a farmer's farm, and with the data, the insurance can access, grant loan, and at the end of the day, the farmer is able to yield, increase, everybody get paid, and everybody get happy. All of these things happens with SMS and USSD. Currently, Apollo Agriculture has over 350,000 farmers who have yielded doubled or tripled in their farm produce. And they raised about $10 million in 2024. This is very interesting. Hello Chat Plus Atlas AI. Just think about this as Uber for tractors. Real AI in the financing. With this technology, farmers now can access machineries just as if they are booking a ride from one location to the other. Now, let us look at how AI is helping farmers to manage weather. With InstaGeo, farmers now have access to be able to tell in real time what the weather is like in relative to their soil. They have the flexibility to understand better about their location, produce yield, and get early access in when things are about to go south. This helps them to properly manage, and research shows that they've gotten, as a result of the deployment of this technology, they've had 83% accuracy. Just imagine you having a farm and you have a weather system that can help you predict locust breeding, help you understand how some of these things work, and you're not just acting based on guess or based on what you think, but based on the fact that over time you can predict some of this weather, you can predict some of this location, and even understand when and how to farm within them. There's also OKO Finance. OKO Finance, the application is in Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, and Uganda. Just imagine, as a farmer, you have the ability to have your land, have your crops, and you can then get a finance house to finance your planting, your harvesting, and also even your selling, just because there's a technology that is able to understand how some of those things work, the feasibility of planting in that your location, and the possibility of making money at the end of the day. And at the end, you get fundings to make these things happen. In conclusion, let us talk about 3 crucial lessons if you're interested in building technology in the agricultural sector in Africa. The first thing you need to understand, and it is not negotiable, is that you need to design something that is mobile first. Understand the fact that the people you're building for may not necessarily be tech savvy. And let's even assume that they are tech savvy, understand again that at the end of the day, they may find themselves in areas where network is not that feasible. Your AI model is not the product. What the farmer sees as a product is the diagnosis, loan, and payout. But for mere technology, that's not necessary value for them. They just want to be able to know what is wrong with their crop. They want to know how to get loan and access the loan. And at the end of the day, they want to be able to also pay out and do whatever they need to do. These are the products within the agri-tech AI sector in Africa. The final lesson on this is that you need to also remember that African is now the training ground for models to the world. If you're looking for a diverse environment to train your model, there's really no other ground than Africa, because in Africa we have the landmass, in Africa we have the population to do the work, and in Africa we also have the landmass to output and sell the produce from the farm. My question to you right now is, what product are you looking at building in agri-tech? You can leave a comment in the comment section and let's keep the conversation going. And in the next edition, we're going to be looking at how AI is transforming healthcare in Africa, from X-ray, pregnancy, and catching fake medicine. If this is informative, all you need to do is subscribe and hit the bell so that you can be notified every time we release a new tip. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one.